Update. My ex-fiancé is threatening to sue me for ownership of a ring that has been in my family for generations, saying that it automatically goes to the man. Original story. I recently broke off an engagement due to my ex being a cheating a-hole. The ring I wore during the engagement was an heirloom willed to me by my late grandmother. It is traditional in my family that this ring is passed to the eldest daughter, and my mother had been keeping it safe for me until I found the one. My ex knew this. I'd asked for it when he asked for my mother's permission to propose. She gave it to him and he had possession of it for less than 24 hours before he proposed. Now that we've broken up, he is demanding that I give him the ring back. He is insistent that Alabama law makes it illegal for me to keep the ring, that in the event that an engagement ends, the ring must be returned to the man. Period. I looked into it, and all I can find is that the ring belongs to whomever paid for it. When I told him this, he told me that I don't have any claim on the ring, since I didn't purchase it. I was only willed it. And that the fact that it was willed to me is irrelevant, since my mother gave it to him. He's demanding that I return the ring and any information that I have about the insurance policy on it. It's extremely old and much more valuable than your average K-jeweler's piece. He says that if I don't return the ring by Monday, he'll sue me for it or its value in court. Can you seriously do this? This ring has been in my family since the 19th century. Does he really own it simply because A, he's male, or B, it sat in his pocket for less than a day? Would the fact that my mother was only storing it for me to keep it safe / maintain the surprise of an engagement matter? It wasn't hers to give away. Now for the top advice before reading the update. No, and congratulations on not marrying a flaming moron. Seriously, I'd say you dodged a major bullet, Opie. This guy sounds like a special class of moron. He is indeed hopelessly stupid. He's still insisting that he didn't cheat on me. He was merely opening his side of the relationship. The day before I left him, he told me he wanted an open relationship. I totally respect polyamory, but since I'm not polyamorous, I don't want an open relationship. He said that that was great news because he didn't want a fully open relationship. He wanted me to stay faithful to him but look the other way if he slept with someone else. I was flabbergasted that this educated, formerly apparently kind and normal man could be such a freaking moron. I told him if that was what he wanted, we were done. He actually had balls to say, "No, we're not. Love you, babe. See you tomorrow." When I got to his house the next day to get my things, he was doing one of his coworkers on a kitchen table I built for him from scratch. I tried to tell him it was no big deal, since they'd actually been together for months, and I'd been happy the whole time. Sorry to unload on you. But the point is that, yeah, you were right. I dodged an intercontinental ballistic missile-sized bullet. I just wish he'd shown the side of him sooner. It had wasted 2 years of my life on someone so monumentally selfish and divorced from reality. Did you break the table? I did not. I briefly considered it, but I made that table out of wood salvaged from his childhood home when it's burned down, and he's extremely attached to it, and I know he'll never get rid of it. So I hope that every time he sits down to eat at it, for the rest of his life, he remembers what an unfathomable trash villain he was to me. Knowing that the table will instill him with a lifetime of guilt gives me significantly more satisfaction than the momentary enjoyment I would have gotten out of destroying the table. Plus, I may not be a professional carpenter, but I'm pretty good for a girl who does woodworking in her brother's basement. I made that thing indestructible. No way I'd be going at it without at least my chainsaw, which silly me didn't think I need when I went to pick up my spare clothes from my douche of an ex. Your ex is acting emotionally in an effort to try to hurt you. Don't let him do it. But I'd also keep the ring hidden away someplace. Emotional people don't always make the best decisions. It's already been returned to my mother's safety deposit box. And now for the update. I wanted to say thanks for all the advice and support I got when I posted on here a while back. I was in a pretty awful place, and I can't describe how awesome it was to have literally hundreds of people telling me what a pathetic douche chill my ex is. I don't have a thrilling update for you. A lot of you warned me to be on the lookout for him trying to take back the ring himself, which my family and friends were also worried about. I'm very blessed to come from a large family, so on Monday afternoon, a few of my male cousins / second cousins / concerned family friends and their firearms came to my apartment to keep me company. My female cousins didn't want to be left out, so they came too, several of them also toting something. Through a garbled family phone tree, one of my uncles completely misconstrued the purpose of the family gathering at my house and arrived bearing a case of liquor and a massive public sheet cake. My My grandfather eventually showed up with his banjo and some beautiful pictures of my grandmother wearing the ring in question. As you can imagine, this turned into one of our better parties, and my congratulations on not marrying an a-hole party will live on in family lore. Since my original post, I've gotten a lot of extremely nice messages and calls from my ex's family, all of whom are currently not speaking to him. His brother called me the day after the table incident to ask what happened, and I told him the truth, which I can only assume was passed around. His dad assured me that my ex won't be trying to sue me for the ring, and told me that if I ever hear from my ex again, I should call his dad and he will bring the pain. He also sent me a gift card for several $100s to Home Depot, in case I ever want to make a better table for a better man. Hopefully that will be the last thing about this breakup that makes me cry. I also got an STI screening, which turned out negative. My gyno said that everything looked perfect, absolutely pristine. So I may not be getting married in 3 months, but at least I have pristine genitalia. $10 says the uncle didn't misconstrue anything, and his action was 100% a plan. If something had gone down with the ex, nothing like a sheets cake to prove that it was a regular family gathering and not a premeditated lynch mob. He also sent me a gift card for several $100s to Home Depot, in case I ever want to make a better table for a better man. Holy cow. I don't think there was enough burn cream at Hemisphere for that one. That man is not happy with his son. No, he surely is not. Obviously my ex can rot in whichever circle of hell is designated for people like him. I want to say second, but wasn't the most enthusiastic Dante student. But his parents are awesome people, and it makes me sick that they're so torn up about how terribly their son acted. There were a lot of "where did I go wrongs" tossed around when they called me. His dad was so mad he took the table back and told him it didn't deserve it. I think that's my favorite part of this follow-up. It made me unreasonably angry in the first post that after all of that, he was allowed to keep the table. So I'm happy that it has now gone to someone more deserving. Oh my gosh, Opie. The worst part is that, from your post, it sounds like you would have had a great family-in-law. Good luck. Sounds like she might get to keep them at a breakup. Now for the last story. Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to accept a present my fiancé's mother wanted to give me? Original story. My 36 female fiancé, David, 34 male, and I have been together for about 6 years now. His family is very wealthy. Although I'm very successful and a high earner, my fiancé works for his family's business and makes more than I do. I never wanted to be perceived to as a gold digger, which is why I try to keep my expenses strictly separate from his. I pay for my half of everything. If he ever gives me a gift, I make sure I get him something of equal value. David has often insisted on treating me, but I always refuse. I really don't feel comfortable letting other people pay for me. My fiancé has learned to respect this. After we get married, we will split all household expenses on a 50-50 basis. Our wedding is in October. His parents insisted on paying for a grand wedding for us, but David and I convinced them that we'd rather pay for it ourselves. The other day, David's mom showed me a diamond and sapphire necklace and earring set that she had kept for David's future wife. She said she wanted me to have it and preferably wear it on our wedding day. I felt very uncomfortable with this. I never accept any presents that I can't afford on my own. I told her I was flattered, but that I can't accept something so expensive. I told her I won't be able to give her something equally expensive in return, and I'm not okay with that. She said she didn't want anything from me, and that David's sister-in-law had also been given similar jewelry when she married his brother. I told her I understand it's their tradition, but I can't compromise on my principles. She said okay, fine, but I could tell she wasn't happy. Later on, David told me I should have just accepted the jewelry because it would make his mom happy, and because I'm part of the family now. I explained to him that 1, no, I'm not really a part of his family, not the way he is, and 2, being part of the family doesn't mean that I'm going to mooch off of them. He told me I should compromise and at least wear the set on the wedding day. I refused again. As for my wedding, I would rather wear jewelry that I have bought with my own money. David said he understood and will speak to his mother. However, David's sister-in-law called me this morning and told me his mom is still upset and that I should just accept a gift and that I'm going too far with the independence thing. I have a feeling that David's mom is the one who put her up to this. I do want to know what Reddit thinks. Are they right? Am I going too far with this, or are they crossing the line? Now for the top comments before reading the update. You're the a-hole. For your scorekeeping and rigidly transactional relationship with money. It's understandable not to want to appear to be a gold digger, but marriage is a partnership and sometimes you have to pick up the slack for your partner. What would happen if you or your husband were unable to pay exactly 50% of the bills? Would you divorce? Why would you assume that you would owe your future mother-in-law for a wedding gift? It's to welcome you to their family and give you something that could be passed down to your kids. It was very hurtful to refuse a gift from your future mother-in-law. You could have worn it once and then put it in a safe deposit box. I'm so torn, sorta, on this. I absolutely get Opie. She is proud of herself, her earnings, making her way in life not depending on anyone but herself, monetarily. At the same time, her future mother-in-law thought this would be a welcome to the family type gesture. It was her way of saying, you are one of us. And Opie told her no. I can see how that would be devastating. I think the major difference is that Opie viewed this jewelry in its monetary value, while future mother-in-law viewed it in its sentimental value. I personally lean towards mother-in-law. It may be expensive jewelry. The meaning behind it, though, is this is part of our family. Now that you are a part of the family, it is yours too. I'm not sure how to judge this. I feel like you're the a-hole. You don't have to accept charity or anything like that. I completely understand your mindset. Question: did the future in-laws buy this jewelry just for you, or is it a keepsake in some way? Worst case, they bought it specifically for you, and, as long as there's no string attached, they wanted to give you as an official acceptance to the family that you could also pass on down generations as an heirloom to your daughters or daughters-in-law. Edit. Also, what if they were artistically inclined and had painted a mural for you? Would you refuse it because you can't paint an equally beautiful mural? They are giving you love and acceptance, not something they think you could sell off for a lot of money. Not specifically for me. David's mom had various sets made for their daughters and future daughters-in-law. And now for the update. I posted this weeks earlier and I'm now back with an update. I read all of your comments and advice about not thinking of gift giving as strictly transactional, and would like to thank you for your help and your honesty. Anyway, my partner David and I got married just 3 days ago. After posting about the necklace incident and after seriously considering all of your comments, I decided to speak to his mom. The next time we met in person, I sat down with her and told her I was sorry if I had hurt her feelings. I told her that I was honored to know that she considers me a part of her family. My mother-in-law took my hand in hers and told me that she respects me a lot for being so independent. She said one of the reasons she's so sure that her son made a right choice is because it's clear that I'm not with him for his money. She said she was proud of me for all that I've accomplished and the hardships I've had to overcome. She also said that it's okay to accept gifts from those who love you. I nodded. I never really had a heart-to-heart with her before. Up until this point, our interactions had always been very formal. I never really knew that she felt any affection for me. I didn't know how to react. She then gently asked me why I was always so distant, why I still felt like I needed to prove that I'm not after anyone's money. She told me I didn't have to, that everyone already knew that I'm more than capable of pulling my own weight, paying my own bills, etc., and that it was time for me to relax and let my guard down a little. I was tongue-tied, as I usually get with emotional conversations. I thought about telling her all about my childhood, my traumas, etc., 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 but I didn't, as I did not want to burden her. I haven't even told David. As it was time for me to leave, we hugged awkwardly. For the first time, I just nodded. If I had spoken, I might have cried. A few days after that, my mother-in-law came over again. She brought with her the necklace and earrings that I had refused to accept. She offered it to me again. I still didn't want to accept it, but I also didn't want to reject it again. I was just trying to figure out what to do. I must have looked stressed, because my mother-in-law told me I didn't have to give myself a headache over it. She said it good-naturedly, with a laugh. She then asked if I would like to just wear the earrings to the wedding, along with my own necklace that I had bought for the occasion. I was so relieved. I excitedly said yes. I loved that idea. I thanked her. She had taken a huge weight off of my shoulders. Later that day, David told me his mom was very happy that we could work things out. The wedding was beautiful. A quiet, intimate affair with lots of fun and laughter. I still haven't worked out all my issues, but I'll continue to try. Once again, thanks so much for your help. So happy it worked out for you. I would recommend opening up to your husband about your traumas. You will end up growing closer. You may also want to start therapy. It will help you with your traumas. I'm considering it. Thing is, after a lifetime of bottling up, you don't really know how to open up. But I'll try. Thanks. Talking to a therapist will help you develop the skills and find the words to be able to share. It might take a while to find the right person, so don't give up if the first few don't work out for you. After a few sessions, you could also ask your therapist for a joint session with your husband, so your therapist can help you talk about your trauma and support your husband if it's something that he may find very distressing. The right support will help make this a less stressful experience. Congratulations! But please, for the love of God, see a therapist if you haven't already. It sounds like you're incredibly distraught and causing others distress over your mother-in-law trying to do something incredibly sweet for you. I promise you are 10,000% overthinking the situation. I completely relate. You have had a good fortune to marry into a family that genuinely seems to care for you. As others have stated, if you have kids, you must get used to the fact that your in-laws will probably want to buy your kids nice stuff. Please, please, please see a therapist about your emotional connection to money before kids get on the scene. My husband and I have agreed not to have kids, as neither of us wants any, but I will see a therapist soon. From one independent woman with a dramatic childhood to another, you have proven you can take care of yourself. No matter what happens, you can stand, walk or run on your own 2 feet. You know that. It is okay to let someone else take care of you. You will not be giving up your independence or ability to take care of yourself. That learned and earned experience of knowing how to take care of yourself doesn't get taken away because you choose to lean on your partner. My advice is to fold up that steel wall around your heart and fold it up like the safety net it is and tuck it away for now. You might need it in the future. Hopefully not, but you definitely do not need it now.